Greetings, Berkshire County, and thank you for joining us here on iBerkshires TV. And actually, one of my favorite parts of this job is when we get, we do have people that sponsor the show. We need to stay afloat and get the show sponsored so we can have all the civic-minded guests on. One of my favorite things is when you get good people and good outfits who do sponsor the show. Today, we're joined by the CEO of Mountain One, Bob Fraser. First of all, thank you for sponsoring the show, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks for that nice introduction. I appreciate it.
I just found out that Bob actually lives above Publix, so I'm in North Adams, and I'm very, very jealous because it's one of my favorite places. But in doing all my research here for Mountain One, first of all, you guys do a lot of things within the financial sector, and we're going to get to that a little bit later. But you guys are so committed, and I've always been committed to Berkshire County. As somebody with a construction background, one of my favorite projects that you did right at your home office there at 85 Main Street in North Adams, and then also here, now that you own the building on East Street in Pittsfield, up near the Berkshire Innovation Center. Talk to a little about what those projects meant to you.
Sure. Well, I think it's really important to remember we were founded in 1848 in North Adams. North Adams is the headquarters of Mountain One. We are committed to this area, to our headquarters. It's where the bulk of our employees are. It's our all of our supporting areas for the entire company, and we see it as a fiduciary responsibility to the community to invest back into the community.
And that can be rare nowadays.
Well, it's tough when there are really tough economic challenges in the community. But for us, we think our role is to make a difference economically in the community. And that goes towards projects that we have loaned against and have been heavily involved in that we felt would make a difference in the community, to community engagement, as well as our own investment into the North Adams downtown with the investment we made at 85 Main to bring our insurance agency down from Union Street to downtown and really build out first-class office space at 85 Main, and it also houses our investment division. It's adjacent to the bank, as well as the commitment we have in Pittsfield with the property at Silver Lake Boulevard, and we were the only tenant forever in the William Stanley Park.
Time, but that's not
I
true.
think so, but it was a financial transaction where we had a very long-term lease. Circumstances occurred that we had an opportunity to buy the building, and it made sense for us economically to do so. We consummated that transaction earlier this summer, and I think it just shows another example of our commitment to the community.
It really is a commitment because those are two flagship properties in the two biggest cities in Berkshire County. And again, as someone who did a lot of projects in really old buildings in my old life in construction, it was an amazing job that you did, especially in North Adams, obviously. It revitalized a big block of downtown. And that's incredible to see. And I think that works into, you mentioned since 1884.
1848.
Excuse me, 1848.
Yeah.
I get a lot of things wrong sometimes. And you are a community bank, and you're proud of being a community bank. But once you get involved in all your services, although you still get that hometown feel, you offer anything that's available in the financial sector out here. It's a lot bigger than a community bank.
Right, and we're a community bank in all our locations, whether it's North Adams, Williamstown, Pittsfield, and south of Boston, and Quincy, Rockland, and Scituate. And it's important to remember we were three banks at one time. We consolidated the three banks, rebranded them as Mountain One. But one, we never wanted to lose our commitment to the community. We want to bring a level of banking and financial sophistication to our communities, and we also want to make sure that we are engaged in the community. And so it's important for us on the lending side, that we're going to finance projects that are going to make a difference in the community. And I think we've exhibited that up in North Adams by our investment in the NORAD mill with Dave Morazi.
Incredible.
Our financing of tourists, which I think is changing the North Adams area. Our investment here in Pittsfield a number of years ago on Hotel and North.
Yeah.
Again, those types of, in part, leaps of faith, but also sound economic judgments to commercially invest in projects that are going to make a difference for this area. And I'm pleased to see that these projects are doing well, and the people behind them are totally committed to the Berkshires as well. And so it really was a partnership in that regard. On the community engagement side, we're heavily involved with community engagement. One of the things I'm really proud that we have recently done was the sponsorship of Lever's Innovation Summit. And I think that is a great vehicle to foster entrepreneurialism here in the Berkshires, where it's culturally and practically it doesn't have a great impact right now. We've have a history of large employers, and we need to create, with those large employers now gone, we need to create more entrepreneurs, people who are going to stake a claim in this area, build a business, employ people, and create more prosperity for the area. It's also important that we do our civic duty, and we're heavily involved through various community activities, but even more importantly, we have a number of core commitments, and one of those core commitments is community engagement. And our employees are heavily involved in volunteer activities throughout the area. On boards as volunteers. We provide the time, and we financially support many of these organizations. And I think it's just part of our role as not only as a financial institution, a major employer, but just culturally doing the right thing for our community.
And, you know, we actually just had the newly reelected mayor, Linda Tyron of Pittsfield, and it is that engagement now between business and municipalities that, especially here in Berkshire County, and even getting out to Eastern Mass, you just can't survive without it anymore. And it shows, I think it shows incredible adaptability on your part when you say, you know, it's easy to work with GE, whoever it was that used to be here, to now transitioning to working with smaller businesses. And you just can't survive without it. And I think you guys do a great job of fostering those relationships. You talk about tourists, Hotel on North. These are destinations that you guys have been involved with. People not only from Eastern Mass, Connecticut, New York, all over the country, all over the world that come here now.
Well, I think we all have a role to play in terms of governmental support. I view that as opening the doors for business and being supportive of changes or zoning or TIF agreements, whatever needs to be done to assist the formation of the opportunity. But really what's critically important is that the people that we're involved with come here with not only a vision, but also their ability to have a financial commitment. We're not a charity. We're not going to just throw our dollars at someone who has a good idea. Whoever is coming to us and looking to work with us has to have their own capital as well.
This is, again, one of my favorite things when you see people committed to this area from the top on down, right from the top, CEO Bob Fraser, to all the employees getting involved in the community just to strengthen it. And it's one of the reasons we actually started this show is to come and welcome people like you that allows us to have people like the mayor on, and people from Hancock Shaker Village, and people from any other sort of civic-minded charitable organization in town. So we can't thank you enough, Bob, and thank you to everyone else over at Mountain One. You guys are welcome back anytime. Thank you so much for joining us.
Jeff, thanks for having me. I love talking about what we can do here in the Berkshires.